at the right time. We are live. We have Nina Nesbitt, the CEO of Industry Direct, my friend of, and she said it this morning, 35 years. 35.
35.
35. But I'm so we're pleased this punch to have her here today, and we're gonna, how are you doing today, Nina?
Oh, I'm awesome. Awesome. We were just kind of talking a little bit, and it's nice to catch up, but it's nice to see what 35 years of friendship comes to. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing, and I thank God for our friendship every day. We still laugh, and I think I think that's the things that's so important about friendship. I'm gonna start off the day with our joke of the day, and I'm only gonna do one joke today because the other ones are really cheesy. And when you hear me say the joke is cheesy, then because I usually don't care, but yeah, it's pretty cheesy. I'm gonna do my joke of the day and the joke of the day is people keep telling me it's weird to look up to the Pillsbury Doughboy, but I think he's a great role model.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey, when you guys can't hear it, she's gonna say, "Colonel, that was really corny."
That was corny. If the other ones are cornier than that, you in trouble. So, yeah.
So check out the promo, and we will be back with Nina Nesbitt, the CEO of Industry Direct Modeling and Talent Agency. That's right. That's right. We are back live.
Love it.
With Nina Nesbitt, CEO of Industry Direct Model and Talent Agency. Oh. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Former supermodel herself, Nina Nesbitt now uses her 30 years of experience in the modeling and talent placement industry to coach and connect talent with agencies. She's connected models and talent to over 350 agents worldwide. And she's here to share her expertise with us tonight. Man, let me tell you, I'm stoked about having my friend, and we've been friends for 35 years, y'all. That's right. We've been friends. We've been friends longer than some of y'all been living.
Y'all been alive, right?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Think y'all experience life. You be friends. Make you want to sing a gospel song. When I look back over my life.
My, but you know why they say it now? Because it's true.
It's true.
It's
It's true.
true.
It's true. It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. And I'm so thankful to have her as my friend and to have her on the show today. And we're gonna start out by I'm gonna let you tell us about Industry Direct, modeling talent agency. And I'm gonna let you tell us about you guys and what you do.
Okay. Well, Industry Direct is a local company. I always call it a local company to Charleston with a global reach. What we do is we scout models and talent, we develop models and talent, and then we place them with agencies all around the world. So where a talent may want to get started in the industry, they don't know how to get started in the industry. That's where I come in to bridge the gap. Ultimately, that is my voice. My voice is to get talent and models that are local, that are struggling, that want to make it to the next level, don't have the know-how, the wherewithal, or who to meet. I step in and bridge the gap. Because when they're meeting with these agencies that I connect them with, they wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise. These agencies aren't taking meetings just off the bat, and because you send in your material, oh, get discovered on the street. Don't believe it. It's like 1 out of 1 million that can happen to. And even with that, they don't learn. They have to learn in this process. So the greatest opportunity in this business for longevity is education. It's
Ah,
education. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like a lawyer would learn to become a lawyer and then ultimately go into the courtroom, like a doctor would ultimately, learn and do residency to ultimately do surgery. There's an education process for longevity. It doesn't happen, you burn out really quickly. It's a process.
thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And Nina, a lot of people don't know, but your 30 years experience is coupled with being a supermodel yourself. So you're not new to this, but you're true to this. Tell us a bit about your modeling career and how the process was transitioning from modeling to coaching and talent placement.
So, and I always have to tread on that question lightly because it's a long story, right? In this business, back in the day, and I always say it, we didn't have internet, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have all of those things. So back in the day, when you wanted to be a part of this industry, you had to hustle. And what that meant is you have to, walk 10 blocks to get to this audition, to that audition. So I come with a work ethic, right? So my expectation for the people that I bring on board, I have a personal work ethic. So I build them to have that kind of work ethic because you need it. You need it nowadays. So I just worked really hard. I did an event called the IMTA, the International Model and Talent Association. I did that in 1996. I picked up my first commercial agency, my first agent out of Paris. That's how I really launched my career. So I understood right away that all the hard work that I put in meant nothing if the right people didn't see it. What am I doing if I'm just breaking, just going 100 miles an hour and nobody knows that I'm doing it or what I'm capable of? So that kind of opportunity put me in front of people, put me in front of the decision makers to make it happen. So that's how I started. Uh, I did Teen Magazine when I was 28 years old. 28 years old, I did Teen Magazine. They didn't know, and I wasn't telling anybody. And I was 100 pounds at the time, and my son was 8 years old. And I had him waiting outside when he got off of school. I had somebody drop him off so that I can pick him up, so back in the day it was a different vibe. You had to be creative, you had to be persistent, you couldn't take no for an answer. So overcoming a lot of those things really put me in a place where I'm very passionate today. So the other part to your question is once I did commercial. Once I stopped doing the high fashion stuff, I said to myself, why not do why not go into commercials and film and television? Why don't I do some of that? You remember the stories back in the day? As the world turns, one life to live. I did all of that stuff. I did all of that.
Days of Our
Days
Lives.
of Our Lives. Yes.
The
General
Young
Hospital.
and
That was
the
that.
Restless.
There you go. That was that era, because that's how, nowadays people do YouTube, but that's how you kind of got into the industry. So once I said, you know what, I want to start helping people, because agents started coming to me. They're like, Nina, do you have anybody? Do you have any friends? Is there somebody you can connect me to? I'm looking for this. Do you have anybody? So I was like, listen, that was the transition for me. That's where the transition happened. Literally being the voice in the bridge for people and talent that want to get to a certain place, don't know how to get there, and I get them in front of the decision makers. So that's how it all happened.
Right. All right. Thank you. All right. Nina, we've been friends. Did I skip a question? Let me go back in here. Yeah. How do you, I skipped the question.
Well, you didn't send me any questions, so go ahead. You asking me questions, I'm thinking we're going to shoot the breeze. So go ahead. Go ahead, Cornell.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
You made me laugh. I was trying to be all serious, Nina. How can a parent tell if they have a child prodigy on their hands?
Ooh. I love children. Children are my most favorite, because we plant seeds that grow into trees in this industry, right? So usually that child that people say, that child is too busy. Sit down, don't do that. Why are you always doing something? Stop acting up. That's the child that's gifted. That's the gifted child, because they're free spirited, right? They have a personality of their own. Back in the day when you would speak up and had an opinion to your parent, you got popped in the lip, or you got sent, to your room or whatever. But it's really, that's the child that has an opinion, that sees the world. And I tell you something, parents that connect to their children's purpose, their child's purpose, those are the ones that I connect to, because some parents want it more than their children. Some parents want it more than their children. And I can actually I have interviews with the children to say, listen, I need to look you in the eye and see if this is for you, or is it more so for your parent? And when I can determine, I can tell the difference. And sometimes it's sad, and most of the times it's awesome. It's wonderful when that parent steps in and say, listen, my child has something. I need some direction. Can you help me? But I had one child. He was on medications for attention deficit disorder, and I just said, Mom, because he was just kind of sitting there, attentive but not really attentive, and I knew that he had more. I told Mom, don't put him on medication before he comes to me. I don't want him on medication. I want to see him free. I want to see him what you call acting up. I want to see him what he does when we do improv exercises. I want to see when he's walking the runway. I want to see how he really is. Once that happened and we did about 10 weeks of classes, he didn't have to take attention deficit disorder medication anymore, off of the medication, because I allowed him to be free, and he learned the tools that he needed to, I guess, to work around other people, to be able to really put himself out there. And he wasn't afraid. And that's the craziness. These kids are not afraid. That's when you know. When they're ready and willing to, like, I can be on TV. I can do that. I can do that. Those are the kids that I look for.
All right. Thank you. How do you challenge your students to stay motivated?
So the expectation is I got to be motivated too. Just because you're on board doesn't mean that I bend over backwards, flip and split, and I'm the only one flipping and splitting, right? You have to keep me motivated too. So it's a team effort. This is teamwork. I'm not just here to provide a service. I'm here to work with you to get to the next level. So in terms of motivation, I use myself as an example, my history as an example, but then I tell them, you got to be educated. Who's your favorite model and why? What's the last thing they've done? What campaign are they in? Who's your favorite actor and why? Who's your favorite director and why? These are conversations that they have to have not only with me, but with potential agents and managers that they find, that they'll connect with.
Right.
So their motivation is my motivation. And I tell you, I'm firm, but I'm fair, right? I'm firm, but I'm fair.
Absolutely. I can attest
Yes.
to
Yes. Yes.
that. So, Nita, we've been friends for 35 years. You've
Yep.
always been a leader, trailblazer, and problem solver for me, as well as many other people on a daily basis that you used to empower. Now you're leading, trailblazing, and problem solving on a much larger scale. What is that like?
That it's incredible because the fact that you just said that is really incredible. Last year, for the whole part of last year, 2020, I brought people to events that people like me didn't frequent. So, in terms of being a trailblazer, opening doors that have not been opened to us before, and not just opening them, but kicking them open, right? Because we are trained, we're prepared, and we're ready, understanding what the industry takes. Because with this industry, we have to be better, we have to be greater, we can't just be settled, we have to be more, and the expectation is higher. So, it's a process, and for a lot of people, they feel that it should happen quick, fast, and in a hurry, where they don't understand that every step that they're taking, they are trailblazers too. Every time they take a step in this industry, people are watching them to see how far you go, what's changing. So even though I can say, yes, I'm a trailblazer, people look at me as a trailblazer, but everyone moving together in a team, we're all trailblazers. We're getting this done collectively, not individually, but collectively. So that's a big question. That's a big one. Thank you.
Awesome. You're so, I tell you what, I can't. You're awesome. My friend Barry Dingle from Cross, South Carolina says, "Oh, oh my! So you're saying my 4-year-old grandson, Dr. KJ, got so much energy? I thought he was the bunny rabbit trying to take out his battery."
No, but that 4-year old and that energy casting agents are looking for. Don't underestimate your child's abilities. Don't squash their abilities by keeping them in coloring in the lines, right? Keeping them in the lines. Don't do it because there's a whole world outside of what we know for them. Let them explore, let them find. Now, I'm not about being disrespectful, but I am going to say that with kids, you have to let them open up and express themselves. They have the way that they see the world is very different from the way we see the world. So they have something to offer. They say out of the mouths of children, you better believe it. You better believe it.
Yeah, because we grew up with you better not say nothing. We grew up with don't talk to grown people. Then you get jacked up for that. But
Right. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. You know.
oh goodness. So you've connected talent to over 350 agents worldwide. You're known globally. Before COVID, walking into these venues and seeing your industry direct, what is that feeling like?
It is an incredible feeling. I wish that I had someone like me when I was in the industry. And to know that for whatever reason, I went through what I went through in my career, and knowing that based on my personal experiences, I'm able to help other people get to the next level. I'm thankful. I'm thankful because I know my purpose. I know why I went through all of that and survived, is to be the bridge. I know why. So when I look on TV and I see my talent, when I look in magazines and I see my talent, when I remember, their why, when I got in their faces and they cried, or you put them on the spot and they had to have personal breakthroughs, you know what? I know that that's God. I know that's happening. I know that my purpose in that journey, however long or short it is, there was something that I was supposed to do. So when I see that, I know that I've done my job. I know that I've done it and I feel good about it. It's an amazing feeling.
Barry chimed back in, my friend, and he said thank you. He's the one that was talking about his grandson KJ, and he said thank you
Mm-hmm.
very much. Thank you for what you said about KJ, or what you said about letting him color outside the lines. Um,
Yes.
when you received your first major placement, did you have time to celebrate?
So my first major placement, I don't think, you know what? I think the celebration is getting to the next person, right? That's my celebration. I mean, I can't have enough champagne to celebrate. You know what I mean? It's just so many great things, but being able to take that energy that someone is successful, I want to move on to the next person. I want to get them to that next level. That's the celebration for me. You know, and then I'm kind of guilty, right? I'm guilty of working. I have a work ethic. I have a rigor. And I'm here in Charleston, right? But I have a New York, still have a New York rigor to my work ethic, to my how I do what I do. And you know, that's the celebration for me. That people got to where they were going. I want to move on to the next one. Let's get to the next one.
Yeah, you do have that New York. You have that New York swagger. Absolutely, you do.
Swagger.
You've always had that New York. That brings us to the next question. One of the absolute loves of my life, your mom, Miss Janice, reached out to me this morning, and her message melted my heart. And I'm going to put it up.
Oh, she did?
That's her message. Congratulations. Love you. I'll be watching. Yeah, Miss Janice. I love Miss Janice.
That's my mama. That's right. That's right. Yes.
She's always encouraged me in my endeavors and corrected me in my errors. Tell me, how much of a bedrock Miss Janice has been in your career, as well as the awesome support system of Will, Janine, and Bernadette?
Oh, family is everything. You know, just so happened that the family that supports me the most and that loves me the most are by blood, right? But family doesn't necessarily have to be by blood. It's just those people that support you. Like you, Cornell, my mother would tell you on the spot. You know, she lets you have it on the spot. You get it where you give it, right? So that's, you know, that's how my mom is. But and I think I get quite a bit of that from her. But you know, through this process, my mother has been that rock, even though that rock was sometimes difficult, right? Being that rock was sometimes difficult. I'm one, there's I have two stepbrothers, right? So there's six of us total. But for my mother to be that kind of person, to see her daughter go down to 100 pounds, to see that her daughter may not be making the right decisions, and to be the only rock that her daughter has ever known. For those of you guys who have your mother, man, don't, it makes me emotional, right? But don't underestimate the power of your mother. I can go on to, you know, I need to write a book. I was going to write a book. You remember 20 years ago, we talked about writing a book, right? But
Absolutely.
in this process, you need to have a support system, because in this industry, they're not loving you. In this industry, you have to come to the table like a business. And if you come with your feelings on your sleeve, if you come to the table thinking that somebody owes you something, you are highly mistaken. They will chew you up and spit you out. That's why I'm so passionate about having a support system. One of the first questions I ask people that come on board is, who's your support system? What do they know about your dreams and your purpose? What do they know about what they feel you should be doing? Are they chiming in? Are they standing against you? Because you're going to look for that love and support from somewhere. You don't want to look for it in the industry. You don't want to find it in the industry. You want to come whole into the industry, so that you're able to make the kind of decisions that allow you to have longevity in this business. You got to come in whole. I didn't necessarily come in whole, and I'm the first person to say that I didn't make all the right decisions, but my mother was there every step of the way. My brother was there, and I knew Janine and Berna and my brothers Dante and Damon, I knew they were looking up to me. And I'm still making bad decisions, and I know they're looking up to me. And sometimes it's a selfish process. Sometimes it is. But then once you kind of grow a little bit, you come to love and appreciate the people that stood by you no matter what. That when you were falling, I think there's a scripture in the Bible, right? When, who was it that, you know, his arms got tired of being up, and then Who is that?
Moses.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So when his
Moses.
arms
Yeah.
got tired, he had help to lift those arms. Yes, that is my family. That is my family today, and that is my mother today. Today, no different. And she'll put me on my I mean, that's where I get it from. She'll tell me, Nina, no, no, or Nina, yes. She'll give me her 2 cents, and I got to take it whether I want to take it or not because I respect it, and you know my mother and
I
appreciate
know.
it. I
You know.
appreciate my mother. Oh yeah, oh
I know.
yeah.
I know. She'll put it on you, then she'll feed you.
Because that's love. And I do the same thing. I'm like, I can't play with people in this industry. I can't play with people that want to get in this industry. I can't, you rub them a little bit, but you can't play too much because nobody's going to give that. Nobody's going to do that. So I give it to them the way that makes them stronger, so that no is a sentence. No is an adverb, verb, adjective, noun. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole thing, and you have to know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, then you're in trouble. And that's one of the benefits. I made the wrong decisions, made bad choices, so they don't have to. And if they're smart, they use it. They don't have to make the same decisions I made. They don't have to make the same choices or go through the same experience on the negative side. I'm only giving them the positive. Imagine, Cornell, if in your life people told you only the positive. This is what you don't do, that, do this. But then, that's so powerful.
It is.
That is so powerful. Some use it, some don't. Some say, you know what, I want to go that way anyway and fall in the hole. They fall in the hole and they come back to me. They fall in the hole and come back to me. And then they're like, Miss Nina. I'm like, yep, now let's do it. You learned something? Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it done the right way. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Fall in the hole and come back to you. I like that. Nina, it's no surprise to me that you're coaching and imparting the wisdom of the ages into your clientele. When I was in a shell myself, you pulled some things out of me that I never knew existed. In fact, I owe you back pay for the early free coaching sessions.
Okay.
Hey, what is this innate ability you have to keep molding clay into works of art and seeing beyond what others see in themselves?
You know what? Who was the home economics teacher at Berkeley High?
Miss
Miss
Clyde.
No, that Miss Myers. Miss Myers.
Oh.
She taught us. She taught like home stuff, sewing. Remember
Oh,
back in the day? What was her name?
I can't remember her name.
But that was the class. She taught us how to
Yes.
sew and how to bake. Yes, I
Yes.
think. Yes. So, I remember she asked me to come up to the front of the class to do something. And I remember this is when I knew that I was supposed to be doing this. I remember walking back to my seat, and I remember walking back to my seat saying, she needs to change her hair. She needs a different color pants. If he wore this, literally, I could go down the aisle, and I was saying to myself, this person needs this. And I just saw it. I just saw it, and I knew it. And then I met this guy named Cornell, right? He graduated in 86, and I graduated in 85. And that time in my life, we created some amazing things. We created, and I think for you, Cornell, what was so great about you is that you were open to learning, and once you learned, you ran. Once you got it, you ran with it. You ran with it. So yeah, you owe me, man. You owe me. You owe me.
So the bill is in the mail, right?
You owe me. That was because I was straight from New York. We were rapping, and
Yeah.
rapping at Berkeley High wasn't really I guess it wasn't really as hot as it became after we got there.
Right.
So then rapping and then keeping up with the beat and then making the beats, and here we are on lunch break rapping. I mean, you were natural, el natural.
Well, you
Yeah.
had the ability to turn a house cat into a lion.
Oh, ooh, and that's true, isn't it? No, and I'm thankful because for whatever that was, it made you who you are today, and it made me who I am today.
It did. It did. I absolutely will say it did. It did, my friend. Um, Nina, you keep producing hits. Models and actors are extracted from all major cities. You're the go-to for people that move the wheels of fashion, TV, and cinema. Without telling me your trade secrets, what is the basic formula for producing the hits?
Education. Education. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is confidence. Knowledge is, that's really the motivation behind you becoming successful. It's knowledge. It's really knowledge. When I think of, when I see my people in on TV and I see them in magazines, and I have some people that have been really successful and they weren't supposed to be. They didn't fit the height requirement. They didn't fit the size requirement. They weren't light enough, dark enough, white enough, black enough, and then they it happens for them. It's because knowledge is power. That's how you do it. So everything that I've learned, and then the classes that I took, and the people that I'm connected to, I have a keen ear when it comes to the agent. So the agent will call me. I just got a call when on Tuesday, what's today, Tuesday, Wednesday? I got a call yesterday from an agent in Los Angeles. And she says, Nina, I need 4 girls, African American boys or girls between the ages of 6 and 11. What do you have? So I'm looking, I know what she's looking for. So for me, I need to make sure that the kids that I have are ready to stand up to that, ready to meet that expectation. So I keep a keen ear with my agents and managers. They tell me what they're looking for, and then I get them strong enough to be able to be marketed to those levels, that level of agency or management representation. So that's how we do it. It's a process. And it's been working for the last 22 years now that I've been in business.
22 years.
22 years. Yeah.
Wow.
It
20.
works.
That is awesome. Um, Nina, what would you say to a parent that may be watching about the importance of having someone to coach confidence into their children, and why coaching and supporting their child's dream is so significant?
People think that I think parents, I help parents understand that training kids to be actors and models are really training in life skills. So when you're an actor and you have to get on set and you have to speak, there's a level of articulation you need, how to meet and greet, how to break down material, how to be persuasive, how to use intonation and inflection in a way so that you move people in the direction you want them to go. That is power. So I always tell my parents, they'll come on board and learn these skills and apply it to the industry, but these are life skills. I have people that come up to me after 20 years and they're like, Miss Nina, I know how to shake a hand. I'm like, show me. They'll come up to me and they'll shake my hand the way that I taught them when they were little kids. And guess what else? I don't just work with the people I worked with years ago. Now I'm working with their children. How about that? I'm working in second generation. Second generation. So the parents got enough from me or from the experience so that they want their children to come through this process. I mean, what greater honor is that? I mean, really and truly, that's an honor. That's an honor. But that's what I tell my parents. Yeah, it's life skills.
Because you also teach etiquette, and
I there's different styles of etiquette. There's social media etiquette, right? There's eating, there's dining etiquette, there's personal etiquette, there's certain, it's changed now, Cornell. Right? When you look on Instagram and you look on Facebook and, things have changed, but how do you operate within the change and keep a moral standard? That's important. That's where it is. You see all these things happening, but how do you stay focused on who you are and who you're meant to be? How do you stay focused on your purpose and you don't kind of waver to what's going on because that's what everybody else is doing? That's a big thing.
You are rocking this interview. Nina, I remember one day I had suffered a life event and I called you intent to have a pity party. You listened and then you said to me, Cornell, I can't feel sorry for you. You have too much talent. I cordially said okay and goodbye, but I was mad for about 30 minutes until the realization hit me that you were right. And you shut my pity party down immediately. What is the value? And I think you've already answered this question about in the importance of being able to say the hard things in your business. You already answered that question. So, if you wanted to say something else about it, you could. But I just thought I wanted to mention that I remembered that and how it helped me.
So the greatest lessons I learned was when I scraped my knee, right? The greatest lessons you learn are when you can associate some kind of, I wouldn't say pain, but some kind of jolt, right? Those are the lessons that you keep the longest because that lesson was associated to an emotional feeling, to something emotional, and sometimes even physical. So my mother taught me that. She doesn't have time for it. There's no time for that. Okay, you done? Now go wash the dishes. Right? Okay, right. Really? Now go and do what you need to do. But I learned too, because when my kids, even adults, I will pop them on the hand. I pop them. Let's associate this lesson with this feeling. Pop. I will pop them. Anybody that knows me knows that I will pop them on the hand so that it stings just enough, because it does work. And my mother taught me that. She did that with me. So, you get to be the benefit of those lessons.
I will remember that always. Yeah. Maya Angelou, the late great poet laureate, said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Do you think the way you make people feel is a transformational must in developing talent?
Absolutely. When parents see that their children came to me one way and then 6 weeks later they're different children, when adults come to me and say, listen, Miss Nina, my dreams have been deferred and now I get to live it. I mean, no matter what was said, they remember the feeling. They remember the emotion. They know that extra thing that got them through, that pushed them through their comfort zone, that pushed them out to discover themselves. They remember that. I have, and it's been such a blessing. I probably work with a couple of thousand people, more than that in my career as a business owner. And one thing they can all say is that I gave my best, and it's always been passionate for me. So I'm not just sitting here cold, I'm emotional too. I'm excited too. I'm hungry and thirsty with each and every one that has a dream to get to the next level. I want it just as bad as they do, because when they get it, we succeed. So they remember that. I remember it. I remember how people make me feel too, you know? So that's a blessing. That's another blessing.
Awesome. That's awesome. What role has your faith played in creating Industry Direct?
Everything. Everything. How do you think I got this far? Oh yeah, it's everything. And let me tell you, some people don't know, but I will break it down. I've been in photo shoots and the photographer is there and the makeup artist, the hairstylist, the model. I'm like, hold it. Time to pray. Let's do it. Let's go in. There's a girl that's on Instagram. She's like, let's pray about it. I go in. We know, because
I know.
we've moved mountains on the
Oh,
phone
yeah.
where Verizon had to cut. Let me tell you, we have so many stories where prayer has been, the only way out.
That's
That's
right.
the only way out,
That's
is
right.
through prayer. So prayer has been everything. My faith has been everything. Was I always here? No, I wasn't. Have I always been here? but God has always reminded me. He's always reminded me of who I am and who he expects me to be. So that's the life I live. So I asked somebody, how did they see me? They was like, humble. You're really humble. I'm like, wow, humble. Wow. But I know that that's the God in me. I know that that's the God in me. So I want people to see that what makes Industry Direct different is that we operate also from a spiritual plane. It's not just flat out service, money, exchange. No, I pray over each and every one of my students. I pray over my instructors. I pray over the people that come into my office. I pray as a whole. I pray as a whole. And I think for some people, that's really kind of surprising to them. They're like, wow, Miss Dean, I didn't know. Well, now you know. Now you know. So it's been everything.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And yeah, we have been prayer partners, and we have seen
Woo-hoo!
miraculous
Yes.
things. That's right, miraculous things. We don't even have to pray together every week or every month. When we do get together and pray,
Things
we
change. Mountains
absolutely
move. It's so
move.
true.
Absolutely,
Yes. We
absolutely.
know it. We've done it, right?
You
We've
know
done
it.
it. We've
Right.
had the experience and we saw the manifestation. We saw it. We
We saw
lived it.
it.
We saw it.
We have. We have. God is good. You created Industry Direct from the ground up. What would you say to a young entrepreneur afraid to believe in themselves?
Uh I would say, when I started Industry Direct, I started in Starbucks right there on Rivers Avenue before they moved it, right? And I would be in Starbucks at 7 in the morning. So they would give me free coffee, free snacks throughout the day because I literally interviewed people in Starbucks. I took their money for training in Starbucks. And then I had a space at Arthur Christopher Community Center downtown to run the classes. So there's no excuse not to. There's no excuse. If you truly have a desire to do it, then there's nothing holding you back but yourself, because you're going to have to overcome obstacles. It's just part of the deal. Buck up, get ready, because it's part of the deal, but you have to persevere. You have to persevere. And you know what? I've met people, and I'm kind of guilty too, Cornell, because I said I would write a book about all this stuff, right? Because I know that I have a voice for people to hear. People need to know about the stuff that I've experienced. Don't procrastinate, right? Don't procrastinate.
That's right.
Don't procrastinate. If God gave it to you, it is for you to use. That is why you have it. So whether it's writing for me, whether it's music for you, whatever it is that you feel that you have to offer, take the time and utilize the gifts that God has given you, because the doors will open. They're there. Doesn't mean you don't have to push a little bit, but it's there for you. Right? Because you'll be an old person, 80, 90 years old, talking about, yeah, I was going to start a business. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Where you going? Right? Where you going?
That's right. Legend of the Playground, sitting on the porch, rocking back. I wish I had. I wish I did. You're right.
Ooh.
You're right.
Oh, yeah. And, so my most mature model is 72. She is 72. And she's like, Nina, I want to do this. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how much longer I have here to do it. And I feel like I need to do it. I'm like, then let's do it. Let's do it. Don't put it aside anymore. So I say that to adults right now. For anybody that feels like their purpose is greater than where they are, and it doesn't necessarily mean staying in South Carolina. Maybe some of your purpose is in New York. Things are changing. Maybe some of your purpose is in Atlanta. Maybe something more for you is not in your own backyard where you're comfortable. Sometimes exactly what you're looking for is outside of your comfort zone. Do it. Be brave enough to step outside of the comfort zone and do it. It's okay to be driven. It's okay to be motivated. It's okay to be committed to yourself. It's okay. You can do it. It's okay. But you got to do it. You got to do it.
I'm getting so fired up. I'm getting fired up just
Good.
I'm getting fired up. Nina, this next question, I'll wait before I get to that one. I'll say this one first. I usually ask my guests at this point in the interview if they can cook, but I tasted your macaroni with the old lady anointing on it. You know, and it tastes like you were singing gospel music. Jesus is the rock in the where is land. While you were making it, give you the Holy Ghost. So I don't have to ask you. I know you can cook, but I'll substitute it for this question. Nina, do you still believe you can beat me in spades, or did you realize it was a fluke by now?
Oh, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold that face right there for a minute. Oh yeah.
Oh God. Nina, my last question is
I know. I know. I know.
oh, on this journey, my dear Nina Nesbitt, what would you say has been your truth?
What has been my truth?
What has been your truth on this journey?
My personal truth?
Your personal truth.
All things are possible. All things are possible. I think sometimes we get caught up in who we think we're supposed to be and who we're not, and comparing ourselves to other people. And, I love myself. I love me. And other people may feel some other way about it, but I love me. And because I love me now, I've learned to do that, right? As a woman, I've learned to love myself. I can love other people. I can go for things and not take it personally, like, oh my gosh, that didn't happen, so it's me personal. I still love myself. And that's why I believe all things are possible. When you love yourself and you know yourself enough, you give yourself enough credit for all the wonderful accomplishments that you've made, all the challenges you've overcome, all the times you've fallen, but you got back up, and you can still love yourself. That's my truth. All things are possible because I love myself. Also because, my faith makes me whole. But yeah, I love myself enough to fall and get up. I love myself enough to continue to try. I love me.
My friend, I thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule today. My friend of 35 years.
Yay! Make it sound old, Cornell. We are not like our parents. You know what I'm saying? Like how old are you? 52? How old are you? 52?
I'll be
Well,
50.
I'm 53, going on 54, God willing, right? And
well,
so it still seems like not so long ago, right?
it does. It does.
It doesn't seem like it was 35 years ago. It doesn't seem that way.
It doesn't.
I mean, you're not old and broken up and beat down, and neither am I. So, even though, so you're really like 40 something. I'm really,
That's right.
We're really not,
That's right.
We're not old folks. I don't think that era is here anymore. So 35 years was just like yesterday. That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. So let me, and I won't brag it this time. We've been friends for like 35 years. And hey, is that a little bit better? I'm just so thankful to have you on here today. My friend, I wish you nothing but continued success, excellence that you've always achieved. I wish God keep opening doors for you. And I just pray blessings on you. And I'm so thankful that we are friends and we're connected and we're going to always be friends.
Yes.
That's right.
It's been a great ride, Cornell, and I look forward to another 35 years.
Absolutely.
Another 50 years.
Another 50 years, and we won't be old people dead either. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. You and you.
I'll still be whipping you in spades. What are you talking about, man? I still be beating you up, so.
So let's.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Oh God, we love you so much. Let's hear it for Nina Nesbitt, CEO of Industry Direct Modeling and Talent Agency. And for all of you that tuned in today, thank you for tuning in to TMC, the Moral Compass. Until next time.
You should play more of your music.
Play my music.
It should be like boom, 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 boom. You know, you should play some of your stuff.
I need to, right?
Or have guest DJs do your stuff. Close the show. This is guest DJ closing the show.
Get Will on here. If I get Will on here, we'll have a party on here.